Welcome to Flash. Your average Joe disc golfer plays the pro layout at the Bailey Match Play Championships. So here I am on hole one, and forgive me, my audio completely cut out, so I'm doing this voiceover. Here I'm explaining that the wind is coming pretty hard down the valley. You can see the flags rolling, and so what I'm explaining is the technique here with the big drop. If you go too understable, the wind is just going to turn it over way down the hill, even though stuff doesn't turn here. And if you try to go really overstable, the wind is just going to push it down. It's just going to drop down. Or the mistake a lot of AMs make is to go as highs are out into that field. I'm going to go with my Saint because it's neutral and glidey, and I'm just going to try to get a couple warm-ups here, get my body moving. I'm not warmed up enough. It's first throw of the day, so I'm not going to try to crush it anything faster. I'm just going to go Saint, try to get it straight down, and see how much distance and glide I can get. If I had a chance to warm up, I would probably go something a little faster and try a little harder. Maybe something like a wave or a scorch. Maybe even a grace, and try to get some power into it and get into the tree line a little bit. But first throw, yeah, I'm just gonna go Saint and see what I can get done and try to keep it flat down the slope. And I get a pretty good release. Keep it nice and flat. Wind pushes it out. I get right up down next to the short pin. So, bonus, there's good boy Hogan. Luke Humphreys is a couple holes ahead of me filming his stuff. There's my Saint down there. Like I said, I'm just inside circle one for the short pin. But I am going to the long pin, which is probably another 200 feet up into that tree line a bit. Last time I actually went way beyond with an Envy, so I decided to go, and I figured, let's get a warm-up putt, which I missed. And then, so I'm going to go zone here and try to push in a little bit and fade out where the basket is, because last time I just went way past the basket. But okay throw, but that is more stable than I wanted. A little tiny bit of a hyzer, so I am woefully short, which I will find out here in just a second. Yeah, so here I am. I am pretty short, so I am just going to kind of take a nice soft bid at it and see if maybe I can drop it in. Ooh, nice floaty bid, and just gave it a good shot, but ultimately that's a bogey 4. Although this is normally a par 4 for the AMs, but in the tourney it's a 4. So here I am at hole 2. This is just short 222 downhill. Nice little putter throw. They have the raised basket down there to make it a little more challenging, and the double mando is the trees down there. I make the mando, pull a little to the right of my line. I was trying to get a nice soft bird throw, but it did come back, and it's going to give me a long putt, edge of circle 1. But again, the raised basket here. First real putt of the day, and wind is kind of blowing in my face a little bit, and doink, yeah, off the cage. That's no spoilers, but it's kind of a theme today. Anyway, at least a little tap in for the par. No big deal. Alright, on to hole 3. Hole 3 here. It's 366 to the long pin. It's straight ahead in the rock formation. 330 to the blue pin is right in that little aspen grove. I did throw an extra and to the blue pin. I was gonna play both, but after this hole, I believe I decided to just start throwing to the long. But yeah, this was my attempt to the long pin. I'm gonna go again. There's wind. You can see it right here. As soon as it gets to the valley, the wind just shoots it hard left, and that's a scorch. That is a pretty flippy disc, pretty neutral. And the wind coming down the valley just rocketed it left. Yeah, so here I am. I'm pretty far left. No real shot at a putt. I could maybe do a long jump putt, but I got kind of an awkward lie. So I have this really nice rubber golem that I like to. Should just bounce if it hits the rocks. It should lay in there. Really useful disc for the mountains. So yeah, I'm just going to give it a little toss, see if I can potentially toss it in with the backdrop. With this disc, there's no real chance for a rollaway. It's just going to sit there off something. So I'm going to give it a shot. And doink. But it is parked right next to the pin. So pretty easy drop in. At least gave it a shot. But, as you'll see, unfortunately, I tore my golem. So, yeah, now I gotta play the rest of the course without my favorite mountain up disc. But I'll take another par. Here's hole 4, 420. It is very uphill, and you got to kind of get it up over these aspens and pines. 360 to the blue pin, which is directly out in that gap. You can kind of see it right there. The long pin is back left a little further. I decided with the headwind, I'm going to try to get something stable, but with a little bit of turn and glide. So I have a new DD3. And I got a decent whip on it, but again, it kind of died. The wind just kind of pushed it down. So I'm here in probably circle 2 for the blue basket. I'd have a pretty decent chance at a putt here for blue, but I'm still pretty far out of the long basket. I'm probably 100, 120 down the hill, so I'm going to have to just kind of, I'm going to get out an NV and just try to give it a light toss up there and see if I can make something happen. Maybe someday. Change my mind about something. Okay. I am giving myself close to the blue pins, but yeah. Oof, and I let this go a little late and way low. Just kind of scooted it up to the log. Still a putt, but not a very good upshot at all. Didn't even give it a chance to go in. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed with this effort on this hole right now, and I've got a kind of a long putt to try and save my par here. Yeah, you really need to get it up over the log if you're not up close. That was just a poor up shot. And yep, doink again. Theme of the day. Well, there's my first bogey of the day. No, actually the second one. I'm used to the hole 1 being a par 4. All right, here we are, par 5. This is an actual par 4 for the players. 747 to the long pin, 633. to the short pin. The short pin is just there to the left of the aspens in that pine grove. The long pin kind of follow the road up and back a little bit once this sign disappears. You can't really see it from here. And this is going across the valley and then uphill. So this is, I don't know if this will be reachable for even those big mega arms. But this should get a pretty easy birdie opportunity for a lot of these big arms that can get a good throw up to the kind of top of this valley. I'm still worried about this wind coming down the valley. So normally I try to throw something flippy to kind of glide up the hill a little bit. I'm going to go with my octane here and just see if I can push it straight and not fade too much or turn too much either way. Get a pretty good release on it, decent throw, and I get a pretty good ways up there. I'm to the left of the road, just in front of those small pines up to the left there. But once I actually get up here, this pine is blocking the line. It's directly behind that little pine in the middle is the gap. And then you can, yeah, right there. And the pin is back in that gap just a little ways. You can see the person walking off the blue pin. You can see it there on the right side. I'm going to get something kind of flippy, see if I can get some distance up the hill into those trees and possibly fade in back into the pin, but I don't get the fade, so I'm actually almost in putting range for the blue pin again, unfortunately. Yeah, just probably should have gone something with a little more fade, and then I could have skipped out. You can see the basket there out ahead of me, probably 100 feet out still, whereas right here you can see the blue basket. I would probably have another deep circle one putt. But I'm going to go just a touchy forehand up and hopefully execute that and take my par. From this angle, there's nothing really dangerous behind it. As long as I get through this small gap here in front of me, I can give it a kind of a soft bid. And so that's what I'm going to do. But unfortunately, thanks to the wind, you are not going to see it. Yeah, there was a lot of wind today. But it was a decent shot. I went just past. I did actually give it quite a good soft bid. And you'll see here, I love this hole, this position here. It's such a great view. I actually should have backed the camera out and given you a wider angle. Bang, at least I made a short putt. But man, beautiful view at this hole. We're back on the par train at least. But that'll probably be a easy birdie for the hole. This is a bonus hole. This is actually Bailey hole 6, but they are not using it. They were still putting up the sign, so I wasn't quite sure of the layout. And they were still building some, so I decided to go play these anyway. And well, since I played them and I filmed them, I'm gonna show them to you for funsies. I kind of wish they would have included this hole. It's a nice double Mando, then it goes downhill, and then there's a cool basket and a rock formation down here. Very tricky with the downhill. There's danger on both sides. You can overturn it pretty easily. You can hyzer out pretty easily. I go crave here, trying to go straight at it. Make the Mando, good straight throw, but I am way low, and so I don't really even push up past the boulders down there on the right side, which you really want to be inside of those boulders for a putt. So I'm still probably 80, 90 out. The wind really just beat that down. Didn't really let me get any far down the hill, but it was straight, so I've got a pretty easy upshot here. But even that upshot gets pushed down a little bit and leaves me with a much longer putt than I would want. You can see the trees there going pretty hard. I threw that up there a little too soft, and the wind just pushed it down. I thought this would be kind of a fun hole because of the danger. It really drops off pretty severely behind the basket. You'll see here in a second. And with the double Manda on the downhill, I just thought this would be a pretty good hole, but maybe nothing exceptionally hard, but interesting hole to say the least. But I can understand the layout-wise why they probably skipped it. You'll kind of see why when you look at the map. But yeah, I got a little bit of a long putt and got scared and doink off the cage again. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm not a pro. I got a noodle arm and I can putt. So, anyway, there's a bogey on a hole that doesn't even count. Yippee. Here's another bonus hole. This is hole 7 at Bailey. This one I can kind of see why they didn't include because it is just kind of a very basic hyzer. The pin is just behind this pine tree straight out ahead, but there's so much space that it just makes like kind of an easy hyzer. It's about, I want to say it's about 340, 350, a little bit uphill, but it's easily reachable. I'm just going to go throw something, just a little bit of flip and turn. I think I'm throwing a Lutz Castoplast. And last time I threw it, I went a little too wide, so I'm going to try to go kind of tight here and see if I can't give myself a putt. Thought this was really good when I released it, but it comes around the back side of this tree and just catches a limb on the back side, and unfortunately stopped my progress there, which I think I would have been in line for a pretty easy putt had I not caught that limb. So here I'm on the back side of that tree. If I didn't catch that limb and drop down, probably would have skidded right up for an easy putt, maybe even bounce off the rocks for an even closer putt. But I still got a pretty good look. Edge of circle. Pretty strong tailwind here though. So I'm going to try to loft it up, and knowing it's going to drop. And it definitely drops, but I just missed it. Just missed the line completely. So yeah, not even a doink on that one, just a flat out whiff. I should have just probably thrown it hard at it. But yeah, I'm whiffing hard. But I'll take the par. Yay, another bonus hole. So this is Bailey hole 8. This is a pretty easy hole. It's a very short, little straight putter throw down here, but there is a pro tee that is behind me that makes this gap really small. So I'm just going to go an NV. Good throw, just a bit short. I just needed a little tiny bit more on it for the ace run, but that'll be an easy birdie. Like I said, this is a very easy hole. I threw my Berg hard, tried to go for another ace run and kind of go straight at it, and still came up a little bit short. I just needed to not be scared and go for it. But pretty easy, like 2 easy birdies. You know, for again, I understand that this is a pretty easy hole, but it could have been some interesting ace runs. And like I said, there is a pro tee that's about 30 feet back, but makes the gap to get to this easy part very, very hard. It's a very small gap, so I thought that might have been an interesting hole. So here we are, Bailey, hole 9. I also thought this would be kind of an interesting hole. It's about 410, I want to say, up to the long pin. It's in this rock formation behind those pines on the kind of right tip of the rock formation. This is very uphill. There's a huge headwind. I was really unsure about this tee shot. The last couple times I haven't really even been able to get it up this hill. I just don't have the arm for the big power hyzer to get it up this hill. So I decided to go with the headwind. I want something that'll fight it, but I also want something that'll hold on this uphill angle. So I'm going to go Scorch here. And I'm pretty happy with this rip. I get a pretty good whip on it and get it all the way up the hill into the gap, which gives me a pretty good opening to the hole. Not quite close enough to putt. I can't quite get it all the way there with this uphill. I think you need probably consistent 440, 450 power with the hill to give yourself a putt. But making up into this gap is really good for me. And this is normally a course par 4. So this gives me an easy opportunity for an up and down. I see this little tiny gap in this branches of this pine here. So I'm actually going to hyzer into this little tiny gap and just drop it right down to the hole. So that's my plan. This is a soft zone I have. Yep, get it right up in that little pine tree gap. And I get a little bit of a rollback, unfortunate. It caught the last late branch and rolled off the rock, but still pretty happy with this upshot. As you can see here, not too difficult of a putt. A little uphill, but pretty close. It's hard to get a consistent something to stay on these rocks, and it is pretty easy to go over. So I was pretty happy with this up. Hey, and look, I made a putt. So that was a course birdie. If the pros putted this, I'm sure this would be a par 3. Yeah, good arm. You can probably reach this for a chance to throw it in. But I think with the hill, they give us AMs a little bit of a break. So now I'm back to the Pro Tour hole 6. This is Bailey hole 10. No Mando, but the gap is out there between those two trees. There is 441 to the long pin, 348 to the short. My play is, because of the angle of this hill, I want to try to get an anhyzer up above into the gap and up above the aspens there a little bit, and then come down. I maybe should have tried to power it just straight and a little bit lower. May have been a better call. But I've gotten some halfway decent results trying to get this anhyzer up through the gap. And I really liked this release, but I got this unfortunate air bounce right into the limb. Really kind of irritated about this right now because I thought I hit it perfect and I got that air bounce up in that limb. So I'm gonna throw another one. Just I want to try and make the gap and see what happens. I want to try and get it out there because I really like that throw. So this is my Animus. And this one I actually do get it, but man, you can start seeing the wind just playing havoc with this air bouncing it like crazy out here. But I'm going to play the musket, the first one I threw. So this is just underneath that branch. I'm going to grab my Saint and try to go up out over the aspens here. And see if I can't glide it down to where the basket is. So because of this angle, I'm a little closer to the aspens. I get it a little too high. It doesn't turn. It's really hard to get stuff to turn here sometimes when you want to, especially if you get much air under it. So it ends up stalling and comes out way left and way short. So here I'm still way out. So I'm going to try to give it a soft Annie bid. But yeah, no real chance at a putt. But even my soft Annie bid there just gets pushed down immediately in the wind. So I'm left with a fairly long putt here just to save bogey. So this has been a bit of a rough hole for me. It's unfortunate that first kick. And by the way, my second drive did land in circle one for the blue pin, so that was nice. But hey, I hit a long putt to save bogey, so not too bad. So here my mic finally started working a little bit.
The gap back down to the right, way up there. Big forehand. Should have a really good shot at it.
So I'm going to leave you with this up.
Also, there's lots of airspace for a big hyzer. I don't have no arm for that big hyzer. A little bit of a headwind right now as well. Normally it's pretty hard to flip stick up here. But I'm going to go something pretty flippy and see if I can get it to flip in this left gap here. I don't see the short pin up, so it may be in the middle one, just directly behind that big tree that's further out behind Aspens. Got it in the gap, but too high. It started to turn but just got nose up and stalled. I think I would have to really keep it low. All right. So yeah, unfortunate with stall. It's just when that headwind comes up the hill, it's really hard to keep the nose down when you're throwing up the hill. But if I would have got it turned a little more, I think I would have gotten a nice glide there. I'm going to try to do the same thing here to the long pin. I'd have a little bit of a jump putt here to the short pin. Paul Macbeth taught to come up this hill sideways. That actually turned down the hill, which is surprising. But it is a paradox, so probably should have got something turned with a bit of a comeback. All right, guest appearance. Aaron Goss is back there and his family. Just watched him rip one up there. Yeah, I was curious to see how the pros would play this line. It's not extremely far, 400 something feet, but it's very uphill, and the backhand line is extremely blocked. I've only ever seen like J.C. Kester throw a giant tomahawk up there. I thought maybe a guy with Aaron's power might try to go for the hyzer, but even he's going straight at it. He even said just rip and pray. So, rip and pray is exactly what I'm going to do. And see what I can get for myself. The long pin is way back in there. It is on a very, very steep slope, and you can get massive, massive rollovers. So, yeah, this hole is going to be, I think, very, very interesting on tour. I believe this is going to be hole 8 on match play. Hole 12 here. Oh no. Good tree kick, but brutal roll. But that's, for me, that's in a pretty good position. If you try to forehand or turn, it's so easy to turn down the hill. It's not worth it. All right, I'm right here, just letting Natalie Ryan play through. She parked to drive right up here in circle 1 for the blue pin. I would have a really easy putt here for the blue pin. Nice uphill lie, but instead, they've got a tricky little approach for this long pin. I want it to land pretty flat because this hill is just absolutely brutal. So I'm going to try a little bit of an anhyzer above it. Oh, sit down. A little too soft. I thought the ante would glide a little more. Tree cake, thankfully, didn't roll down the hill. I don't know if you can tell how steep this hill is, but this is the famous hill my friends always make fun of me because I had about 5 rollaways in a row. This is why I bought that goal. Soft. But this part is reasonable. That's all it is. Suck. I'm going to look up the Pro Tour tee signs. They're kind of running around putting them up as I'm playing here. This is hole 9. This is hole 8. Alright. Gonna wait for the green to clear. It's greasy dust. But really not all this tail. Try to see if I can push the stalker out there. Just got this. I think it's this. Pretty good so far. So I'm gonna push straight, drift, right. Good tree. Pretty lucky. Just getting inside the camera. Too high. It's crazy tailwind on hitting that. Alright, unfortunately it didn't cut nearly hard enough. And had pretty impossible putt to run. I'm just gonna try to get a high ante up on this branch and settle in. Basket here. Not my best effort, but it should give me a putt. How did I screw myself here? It's underneath a branch on a raised basket. Here, they took away my favorite line with the Mando, and I have no forehand, so I'm just going to try to flip something in the gap. Pin is back on the hill to the right, and then long pin is back right and straight further. And I still went down the hill. Can't flip anything up here. Alright, well, my mic broke, so apologize for the audio. You can see the blue basket there. Yellow one, I'm way off to the left. Yellow one, I know it's out and to the left. Did you guys throw a yellow? Alright, I'm gonna just throw something flippy up this hill. See if I can't just penetrate this. Alright, well, progress. Alright, made some progress. Still can't quite see the pin, it's just over the hill. Let's go. Alright, tree hit. Must be not a whole lot. Long, I think. Alright, so this is massive. This is a huge new hole, 850 feet. So this actually goes to normal, I believe, I think this is like 15 and it goes to 17 or 18's basket, I believe. So I got some people behind me, so I'm just gonna try to rip something understable there. Out there, keep it turned into the hill and just see how far I can get. This hole is going to be brutal. Alright, that's at least progress. Okay, I don't know if you can see the other basket, the original basket for this hole just to the right there. I'm past it, made some progress. I'm gonna just try to rip another one up the hill and see what we can get. Shout out to BOERA Disc Golf. Their new stratosphere is great. Not much progress, but that line was my knee. It just can't generate any power uphill, but it is what it is. All right, the tee box to normal 18 is just above me, so 2 throws and I'm barely to there. It's normally an AM par 4, but normally with a good drive from the tee box up there, I can crest the hill and give me a shot at it. But I'm in such awful position that I'm literally just going to have to probably crank one up the hill as far as I can. And I think that'll give me the best shot back down into the pin and the aspens over the hill. So yeah, I just yanked it up the hill. It's really here, that's about all I can do. Alright, so the actual hole is, yeah, it's to the left, in the gap to the left of the pines. I almost just dropped that in. Take it. definitely reachable. Hole 12 of the championship, or match play championship. And of course, we got a ripping headwind today. It's expected to be calmer from the actual day, but we shall see. I don't really have a right now, but this headwind. Big T3 is the answer. But suddenly it's calm. I'm going to go down the slope. Hope I get just enough turn. Park it. We shall see what we can make happen here. Kind of got beat down. Okay. Decent drive. Not the best. Got beat down by the wind, but take it. I would have loved a nice throw in to end the day. Oh well. Okay. Decent drive. Not the best. Got beat down by the wind, but take it. I would have loved a nice throw in to end the day. Oh well. Oh man, I must have been just across the chains.